You're listening to Journaling with PT. I am your host, artist PT Russell. This is a podcast that highlights creative voices and emerging artists from all over the world. Today I had the honor of interviewing a prolific actor in his own right, Mr. Daniel Roebuck. Please stay tuned and enjoy. Hello, everyone. Today I'm unwrapping a wonderful gift for you. The box is over 6 feet tall, and it contains one of the most prolific actors on this side of the galaxy. He has appeared in both film and television, amassing hundreds of credits in productions such as The Fugitive, Matlock, U.S. Marshals, Rob Zombie's The Munsters and Halloween 2, 911, and Lucky Louie. Mr. Daniel Roebuck, welcome to the podcast.
I'm so happy to be here. I don't plan on dying soon, but if there's any way you could make yourself available to read my obituary, uh, with I don't, what I like listening to that because it made me sound so important.
You are important.
Well, you got my height right too. I thought, well, it all must be true because I am 6'1". So but you know what's PT? What I think is funny is people say, you know what's an insult? Oh, that guy thinks he's God's gift to the world.
Right.
And but aren't we all God's gift to the world?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I'm exactly what I'm supposed to be. You may not want my gift, but this is all God had, and this is the best he could do at the moment, evidently.
Yeah, well, he's doing an awesome job, and I really appreciate you being here today. And I really appreciate the Caped Crusader in the person of Miss Tammy Roebuck for
Oh yeah,
making this
I have.
happen.
Yes, I have a spectacular wife. You don't always get it right the first time, and sometimes you don't get it right the second. But that's even a fallacy because this is my third marriage. But in
Okay.
reality, the first one got us both to California and
Mhm.
led us both to the people ultimately who would co-create our children with us. And I have two perfect kids, and my former wife has her perfect kid, and so
Awesome.
that worked out. And then Tammy is my partner and my filmmaking partner, and the backbone of the organization. And I'm just so grateful that I have found someone like her. Anyway, um,
Awesome.
she's terrific. So thank you
Yes, she
for
is.
mentioning her.
Yes, of course. And of course, I have to thank Mr. Sam Borowski for introducing me to your work. So I have to give him a shout out as well.
The
How
great
was, yeah.
Sam B. We call him Sam B.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, there you go. How was Holy Week going for you so far? Do you observe or at all?
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's I do observe. Thanks for reminding me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe it's been 35 days since Ash Wednesday already. Um,
Mm,
yeah, we're fine. We'll go to church Sunday morning. We discussed going early.
mm,
Um, um, I missed Palm Sunday because I was traveling. But
that's
yeah, we it's interesting. We're the only ones who say I'm a
mm-hmm.
practicing Catholic.
Right.
Everybody else says I'm a Lutheran or Jewish, but
Yeah.
Catholics are always practicing. So, hopefully, I'm an actor, so I like to think of myself as a rehearsing Catholic, and I am, you know, maybe the big show is heaven, so maybe you're rehearsing to get into heaven. Maybe that's the whole point of it.
I think all of us are rehearsing somehow.
Yeah, yeah.
It's interesting that I spoke to someone yesterday. They have a rosary business, and
Oh,
yeah, so he's an artist that makes rosaries. I thought that was fascinating, actually.
Well, isn't it interesting in this, if the government really wanted to make America better, they would give everybody a rosary.
Mm,
And they would say, even if you don't believe in this path to this particular version of God, just take the same time it would take you to pray this rosary to contemplate the needs of other people on the
mm,
planet, and contemplate, your place, and how you could make the planet better and how you could be better. Wouldn't that be great? Everybody just took. I don't have that time. I'm not. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
I'm not someone saying that I have time to pray the rosary every day, but if I do
Yeah.
have time to pray the rosary, I should do it more. How
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. I like that. That's pretty cool. And I think you're doing the best that you can. Can we talk a little bit about 911 season 7 or
Oh yeah, that's right. Tomorrow's the final episode. Hopefully, your listeners will this play before tomorrow or tomorrow.
this will play tonight, possibly.
Oh, tonight. So then I'm correct. Tomorrow is the well, you got that's the thing. Nobody ever knows that about Hollywood. That we never. You always have to find out when something's airing about what
Right.
you can talk about. So
Mhm.
911. We've it's no surprise. We've literally recreated the Poseidon Adventure. Uh,
Yeah.
the the people the people in charge are. Uh, I don't know how they did what they did,
Mm,
but they built I do know technically because I was there every day. They built
mhm.
the biggest gimbal in the history of Hollywood, 90
Wow.
feet tall, and they put a 50-foot tall set in it, and then they could spin it 180 degrees.
Wow.
So when our ship turns over, our ship turns completely over,
Goodness.
and it's crazy.
Shout out to the stunt people for sure.
Stunt people. My stunt man, Michael Cartfed, who's
Mhm.
also he's my second unit director and my stunt coordinator in the movies we make. Uh, he's terrific. All the stunt people terrific, and the show. People could catch it on Hulu
Mhm.
if they haven't seen the first two episodes on Hulu. They could see the first two episodes today, and then tomorrow watch the third episode. It's incredible.
Spectacular is what I'd say from what I've seen. We don't have Hulu here in Canada, unfortunately, so uh,
Oh,
I
that's
don't know.
interesting. Oh, I wonder
Yeah.
if it's anywhere. But you do have 911,
We
right?
do have ABC with their affiliate here, and we do have
Yeah.
Disney Plus, but Disney Plus only goes to season 6, and then that's it. So I'm
Oh,
assuming that
okay.
perhaps maybe in a bit we'll get the full season 7 on. Mhm.
PT. It's crazy too because it is literally they've got it down to you. I travel to Canada a lot to work. Uh, when you cross, you could just go down to wherever that line is. If I drive into the U.S. from Vancouver,
Mhm.
that on that line, they,
Mhm.
they know exactly where the line is. Where are you in Canada?
I'm on the East Coast, nearer to New York State, like Buffalo.
Yeah, what city?
I'm in Toronto.
Oh, Toronto, right.
Hmm.
This sounds braggy. I probably, because I am blessed by God, been to more places in your fantastic country than
Mm.
many Canadians get to. I've been as far east, I've been to Halifax and I've been to Vancouver Island. So
Oh wow,
I
you've been
think
around, yeah.
that's the breadth and length. The
Mhm.
been everywhere except Calgary, I think,
Oh wow,
but
yeah,
in every other province.
that's
Such a
great.
gorgeous country.
Yes, it's beautiful. I'm from the Bahamas originally, but I'm here in Canada, and it's lovely here. So
Um,
wonderful.
Toronto, yeah.
Yeah. So it's congratulations on all the show's success and your
Thank you.
success. It's
Thank you.
premiered to amazing reviews. All the trades from like Rotten Tomatoes to Deadline were just raving over the show's direction. So it's been awesome, and I'm sure you're having a lot of fun with that.
We
Um,
did, and we had a lot
mhm,
of fun making it. And it's rare because when you're a guest star, you do one episode, and maybe it's you and your wife, and
mhm,
you and your wife have two scenes together and two scenes apart, and you know someone for a few days. This we were together for about 2 months,
mm,
so we really bonded as a crew. And then
mhm,
imagine if you're in the Poseidon Adventure, as the numbers dwindle down smaller and smaller,
mhm,
you're uh, even though the character died one day, he's still there filming the next because you don't shoot it in order.
mm.
Um, so it's just you know been a fantastic, crazy, wonderful, wonderful time. So thank you about that. Thank you.
Yes, 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 absolutely. And after speaking with Tammy and just hearing how passionate you both are about your nonprofit, I'm excited to hear more about a channel of peace. A channel of
Yes, I'd
peace.
love to tell you about
Mm,
that. A channel of
please.
peace. Yeah, it was born out of, with all due respect to my brethren here in Hollywood, at some point in time. Now, you would probably pick a different show. We used to
Mm,
put shows on TV like the Andy Griffith Show, which I don't know that a lot of Canadians are familiar with, but it was a moral centered uh, situation comedy where, generally speaking, the stories were funny, but they were also there was generally a lesson in either ethics
mhm,
or civics or morality,
mm,
and it ran for 11 years. It was extremely popular, and they don't that was kind of entertainment people loved. You could go see the Poseidon Adventure, the
mhm.
1972 version, let's say,
Yeah.
was about self-sacrifice and you know putting yourself in jeopardy for the benefit of the rest.
Mhm,
um that's you know that was what that movie was about. Then 20 years ago they remade it, and the movie was about self-preservation.
mm.
That's how flipped Hollywood went in two generations,
Wow.
from
That's,
self-sacrifice or a godly approach
mhm,
to self-preservation, a very ungodly approach. And
mm,
I've seen our culture, you know, devolve into, when you think of the term selfie, that's
mhm.
really what our culture has devolved into,
Yeah.
you know. And that's not God's plan. God's plan was, and He's very clear on this.
Mhm,
We come and we work together, and we make stuff happen together, and then we give Him His glory. But His
absolutely.
glory is also self-evident in the things we do together, which are celebrations of His
Mm,
love for us. So
wow.
from procreation to respecting life to, you know, how we work together, how
Mhm.
we work civically. It's all kind of laid out there. Give Caesar what's Caesar, but give God what's God.
Yes.
So
Mm,
that's missing from movies.
mhm,
So I'm not opposed to it. Uh, I take money from the man, and I'll always take money from the man. And thank God the man pays me, because I can't, I don't get any money for, I write, produce, direct, and star in a movie. It
yeah.
takes 3 years of my life, and my profit participation is zero, but
Wow.
my emotional participation is 1,000,000%, because I
Mhm,
get to make the moral story, and I get to tell the story that's in my heart, and I get to make it with some of the most talented people I know, and then I get to share it with the world, and then it's out there forever. And is if life's about making money, I've definitely screwed up. But
mm.
if life is about making a difference, I hope we're on the right path with the channel
Oh,
of peace.
wow. I love that. And if I will, I wanted to read like a part of the mission. And it says a channel of peace is an organization that is dedicated to producing and supporting films and other multimedia projects and endeavors that provide insights into the advancement of family, faith in God, and the values of love, forgiveness, good works, and gratitude. It's beautiful. That is
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's so simple, huh? And
Mm-hmm.
funny that you got to write it down, so the government,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a not for profit, and it really
Mm-hmm.
is a not for profit.
Yes.
We there's 10 million not for profits where you know you they raise $500,000 and their salaries are $200,000. That's not how our not for profit runs.
Mm.
And if people, they can find it at a channelofpeace.org. And if they want to help us make these movies, I promise you every dollar that comes in goes into the movie, uh,
Yes.
and goes into the product. And our first production now is, of the ages, Lucky
Mm.
Louie. Uh, I would.
Loved it. I love it. It's so much fun.
Oh,
Really.
you. Oh, good. Oh, you
Oh, I
saw it. Oh,
saw it.
good.
Yes. And I love the cars. I love everything about it.
Yeah, that's like a simple, like that's what I'm talking about. Lucky Louie is about
Mm-hmm.
an 80-year-old retired cop who could never solve a bank robbery. So he teams up with uh, his Bible study, which are four ex-convicts that he arrested and rehabilitated. And together they and a forensic psychology major
Mm-hmm.
come together and try to solve the crime. I know you know what the plot is, but I'm telling your
Yes.
listeners.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
It's,
in the midst of it, our main guy goes into the hospital, and I play one of the ex-cons, and I come up with the idea, well, why don't we just rob the bank again? And
yep.
and then we do, but the whole town is in on it. So it's an original, wonderful story. I
Yes.
wrote it and directed it with my perfect daughter, Grace Roebuck. My son is in the movie as well.
Oh, which part?
Playing
Which
Well,
character is
he's
he?
me. He's me in the flashback.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Did you think, God, that guy looks a lot like him? Uh, my, I always say, I don't please, I cast, when he came to the set, I said, I cast this role 24 days on a cold, I cast this role 24 years ago on a cold winter night. Uh,
Oh,
you
wow.
get it, right? You get
Yes,
what I'm saying.
yes, I
Yeah.
do get it. I do get it. I do notice
So,
there were a few familiar faces with Stephanie Zimbalist. I
oh,
recognized her face. And then
we love
the other
her.
gentleman, oh my goodness, I can't remember his name right now, but he played Harpo on The Color Purple. So anyone who's seen A Color
Oh, yeah.
Purple,
Oh, yeah.
I
Willard
was
Pugh.
surprised.
Willard Pugh.
Willard Pugh. I was surprised to see him. I said, "Oh wow, okay."
Yeah, Willard's an old friend. This is the other great thing about doing this is,
Mm-hmm.
I've been in Hollywood 40 years. I have
Mm-hmm.
40 years of friendship with some of the most talented people out there. Now, he ended up, he got a little disillusioned with show business,
Mm-hmm.
and has always been uh, an interesting guy. Willard actually ended up working as a parole officer for a while.
Okay.
Um, so he's just, there's no one like him. And when this role came up, we wrote it for a different actor, but the actor ended up getting a TV series. And he was devastated. He goes, I was like, brother, don't worry about it. I know a lot of actors. And
Mm-hmm.
Willard jumped in. He's terrific. We love writing for him. And he makes the movie. I now I get you know, he makes the
He's
movie so
hilarious without
funny.
saying anything and really doing anything. He just I don't know, it's just his physicality. There's something about it. It's just so funny. It was just cracking up.
Yeah, we were so blessed to have him. And then our
Yeah.
lead actor, it's a
Mm-hmm.
unique situation.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, our lead actor passed away
Oh my
after we
goodness.
shot the movie.
Oh
And but what this is how good God is.
yes.
So I walk into Bob's Big Boy, which is kind of a famous diner situation in Burbank
Mhm.
with my friend Dwayne, who plays Peyton the magician. And I walk into Bob's Big Boy, and uh, we're sitting at one table, and behind Dwayne is uh, Basil Hoffman,
Oh,
uh, the actor, and he's doing a Bible study with
mhm.
another actor. That's what he's doing.
Beautiful.
So
Yeah.
so um, that's who he really was. He
Mhm.
was he was a converted he was a Masonic Jew, a converted Jewish person
Mhm.
to Christianity, and he was so committed to this. And so when the moment came, your country suffered, I think, even more than ours because
Mm.
uh, when the government gets when the government interferes too much, it's never a good thing. And I don't want to. And I'm sorry that I mentioned politics in any way,
No,
but
that's okay. It's okay.
we they shut our churches down and your churches down
Mhm.
in 10 days.
Mhm.
They figured a way to take God out of our life on a daily basis, and I was so infuriated that we went willingly. And I don't,
Mhm.
you could believe what they were telling you, not believe what they were telling you, but now we know they were wrong about everything that they told us. And so they took religion away from us that fast. We
Yeah.
cannot let them ever do that again.
Amen.
And I sat around thinking, they took my faith, they took a way of me making a living, and
Mhm.
I'm an artist, and they don't even want us to get together to do art. And I thought, no way, no way. God did not push me and bring me and hold me and carry me
Mm.
this far that I'm going to
Yeah.
capitulate. We had just announced a huge movie we are going to make that we made afterwards. We made the Hail Mary, but that was a big high school football movie. But we knew we couldn't make that, so I just woke up one day and I said, "That's it. I'm done. I'm not. I don't accept that the government can tell me that I can't make art." And
Yeah.
I started talking about this idea with my daughter, and I knew
Mhm.
the center of it was Basil Hoffman, who I just tangentially knew before that, but we re-engaged um, after we saw each other at the diner. I knew it was Basil Hoffman, and uh, everything that's in that movie is
Mhm.
from directly stolen from real life.
Oh,
I go
yeah.
to that church, that exact church in Bethlehem, and every year I miss their shoe fly pie sale by one day. Like I drive by the church, it says shoe fly pie, which is I'm Pennsylvania Dutch. It's a
How does
Pennsylvania
how
Dutch.
does shoe fly pie taste? I'm just
It's a
curious.
wet bottom molasses pie
Wow.
with a crumb topping.
Hmm.
It's It's ridiculous, and it's shoe fly pie because the Dutchy shoe fly, shoe. That's why they call it. So
Oh,
it's not
okay.
SHOE, it's SHOO.
Right.
Shoe fly pie.
Okay.
And it's of that area.
Mhm.
And if you're Pennsylvania Dutch like I am, you're addicted to it. It's like a crack cocaine of some sort. So one year I drive by the church, it says shoe fly pie,
Mhm.
homemade church shoe fly pie. All orders must be in like September 18th. And it was September 19th. And I
Mhm.
was like, but like, so I call this church. I pull their number and I call them. I'm like, hi. And I do a little, like, you know, name dropping, which I probably shouldn't do. Hi, Dan Roebuck,
Mhm.
from Matlock. You may know me. I grew up in that town. Hey, wondering, maybe you dropped a pie and you thought, we can't sell this to anyone. Like, I'll eat that pie, no problem. And they call back and they go, "We have a pie for you. Come get it." So I go get the pie. I'm almost done with this boring story. Next
No,
year,
no, it's
the
great. Go
exact
ahead.
same thing. I drive
Mhm.
by the church on September 20th. It says all like, why am I there at the exact same day on the exact same road a year later? All orders must be in the day before I see the sign. So I call and they say, They go, "We knew you'd be calling, so we made a pie for you." Uh, so I go in to get the pie, and the nice lady says, "Do you want to meet our pastor?" So, I figure I'm going to meet, Pastor John, Pastor Bob, Pastor Frank. And they
Mm-hmm.
take me around the room, and there's a lovely blonde lady, who's the pastor of the
Mm-hmm.
church. So I pitched the story to Grace in June. We wrote it in July, and everything that had happened is in that movie. He's, there's the Bible study. That's the thing. There's the shoe fly pies. Then there's a romantic relationship between my character and when I meet the pastor of the church, who's a single woman, and all that's in the movie
Yeah, it's
because it
amazing
really
how,
happened.
yeah, it's amazing how art comes together so beautifully.
Well, God's always talking to us, isn't he?
Yes.
And you know, there's on my Facebook page it says art is a collaboration between God and the artist, and the
Yeah.
less the artist does, the better. Which
Mm-hmm.
I think is terrific. And I mean, I look at it this easy. Just shut up and listen.
Mm.
Just listen. He's
Yes.
telling. He put it all out for you. He was like, "Here's Basil. I want him to star in a movie. He's never starred in a movie, Dan. So
Mm.
that's I expect you to give that to him. And here's Bible study, and here's shoe fly pie, and here's a
Mm-hmm.
woman, and you know, I've
And
never robbed a bank.
those cars are awesome too, though.
Oh yeah, we have a great group of people in the valley who, they spend their time, they bring their cars out and we shoot. So, 1972 looks like 1972,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, it's
Then we
great.
found a bank that we had to rob. That's not easy. My daughter and I had never robbed a bank, so we wrote a bank robbery. And then we had to figure out how they solve the
Mm-hmm.
bank robbery. Uh,
Yes.
which when we really did it and we really filmed it, hopefully your listeners will see the film. But when we really
Yes.
filmed it, it was like, oh my gosh, it works just like we said it would.
Yeah.
So
That
it
was
was all
awesome. Lots of suspense in that scene too.
yeah, oh yeah, and it's good, yeah, and it's like an old fashioned. It's like watching Murder on the Orient Express or Death
Mm-hmm.
on the Nile. These great 1970 movies
Mm-hmm.
directed by directors like Sidney Lumet, top directors.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter and I studied those films and kind of, you know, uh, there was no reason to reinvent the wheel because the
Right.
best directors had already invented it. So it was
Yeah.
just how do we tell a modern story without a murder? Because those movies were always about murder, without a
Mm-hmm.
murder, but with different people promoting different ideas.
Yeah, you have an awesome team. I mean, it was lovely to see the young lady. I think her name is Madeline. There again because I saw her
Yeah.
originally in Getting Grace, and she's
Oh, thank
awesome.
you.
Oh yeah, that was
But
a really awesome film as well.
oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Both, yeah, and they're both out there and available. And getting Grace, was such a miracle. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I found that kid right there in the Lehigh Valley. She went to my high school. She went to Bethlehem
Right.
Catholic High School. And
Mm-hmm.
then in we had written the part of her romantic interest, Lincoln, in Lucky Louie. We wrote for the actor who was her romantic interest in uh, getting Grace, but you know,
Yeah.
sadly he passed away in between a beautiful young 23-year-old boy,
Oh my goodness.
victim of a drug overdose. And you never know, who would have thought that that's what that
Yeah.
kid was up to. Um, So we found another great
Mm-hmm.
young actor in the Lehigh Valley, and he was on Law and Order 3 or 4 weeks ago. Patrick Voss Davis and Madeline is she did another movie and then she's starting a new movie. So her career's definitely taking off.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's so that's also kind of the joy of our experience in making
Mm-hmm.
these movies is giving opportunity to people that they would have never gotten if we didn't bring our movie making process to their hometown.
Yeah, it's great. And you have a few other projects that you're personally doing, right? I mean, your team, of course, with
Yes, we're doing the
mhm,
the Hail Mary.
the
We're
Hail Mary.
nearly finished. That's a great story about a nun, a religious sister who comes across a guy so desperately in need of redemption that she
Hmm.
cons him into creating a football team for her all boys Catholic school to lead him to his redemption.
Wow, that's a
It's
lot.
it's
That's a lot. You're
huge.
doing a lot of stuff. Good stuff, man.
We are trying, and then I'm directing for other people. I did a crime drama called Tuesday's Flu,
I
and then
read
we're
about that.
halfway between a crazy, fantastic. People can go to my Facebook. It's Mr. Daniel Roebuck, I think, but you'll know it's real Facebook because it has the check mark. Um,
Hmm.
and there's the main picture now. I think we'll put a 911 picture up, but
Yes.
uh, they could see the trailer there for Saint Nick of Bethlehem, which is a lovely movie based on a true story of a man in Pennsylvania who
Hmm.
lost his son, and it sent him down a path of it kind of sent him off the rails, and uh, people start. He lets himself go. He puts on weight. He lets his beard grow, and people start calling him Santa Claus. And he realizes that if he lives life as Santa Claus, every gift that he gives
Hmm.
helps him give a little of his grief away to come to terms with the fact that he lost his son. So we're halfway through with that and shooting
Hmm.
that in Lehigh Valley. We go back
Hmm.
to finish it. We shot all the Christmas stuff out because I'm
Hmm.
from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, which
I
is
know.
a Christmas city.
Oh, I can imagine with just the name alone is like you're thinking
I'll
Christmas
send to
and
you.
manger. Hmm.
I'll send to you some links. I don't know if you could link things, or I'll have Miss Tammy send you uh, some links to trailers. Uh,
Okay.
if is there a way for you to share those with your audience?
I'm sure I can figure something out.
If you have, I mean, maybe you have a Facebook page that
Yes,
you
of
could
course.
put the links
Absolutely.
and people
Yeah,
could go
yeah, of
there.
course. Of course. Thank you
But
for that.
I
Hmm.
I wish I had a trailer of the Hail Mary, but that's kind of what we're working on now.
And Tuesday's
Uh,
flu, I'm looking forward to that because I noticed that there you have Tony Todd there, and
oh yeah, right.
oh my goodness, I was like, oh, this is going to be something. Just hearing his voice creeps me out.
Oh, I know. Tony and I have known each other, gosh, now for 25 years, and we're in about
Mhm.
4 or 5 movies together. We always
Oh
enjoy
yeah,
working. This was great to be there with him and get to direct him too.
yeah. I think I saw.
Again,
Hmm.
this is the genius of a blessed long life is that you have you know, these friends that you could call on and count on and
Hmm.
film with. Um,
Yes,
yeah, we'll send you little sizzle reels. We have not really
yes.
trailers because the movies aren't done, but sizzle
Hmm.
reels of that and of Saint Nick of Bethlehem, and then also um, the Lucky Louie, so your
Okay, that
listeners could find it.
absolutely.
And did
Yes.
you find that? Is that on Amazon Canada
What's that? Which one?
with Lucky Louie?
Lucky Louie, Miss Tammy, uh, forwarded me a screener, and
Oh,
so I was able to watch it that way. But I saw
could
Getting
you look?
Grace. I saw Getting Grace on this app called Force, like awesome with an F, on Roku.
Okay, awesome.
That's how I saw that.
Well, could you? We won't get like Lucky Louie, but just look up before you air to see
Hmm.
if Lucky Louie it should be available on Amazon Canada.
Oh well,
Uh,
yes, it's probably. I have to check. It's probably available for purchase.
yeah,
There
like
for
purchase
sure.
for
Yes,
video
yes, of course. Yes, it should be.
VOD,
Yes.
and you might be able to buy it for a couple
Hmm.
loonies,
Yes, of course.
um,
Of
or a
course.
couple toonies, maybe two toonies.
Yeah. Tony and a Looney, two Tonys and a Looney.
Two Toonies and a Looney.
Yes. So I've been reading a lot of like articles online, and many people are talking about it, saying things about like The Chosen and movies like Chosen and Sound of Freedom with Jim Caviezel. They're causing this kind of resurrection of faith-based content. What are your thoughts on this resurgence of interest in faith-based?
Bring it on, and bring it on. And I am going directly. Angel Studios is my bullseye for the Hail Mary
Okay.
because I think they could use a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and the Hail Mary, although it is about redemption and what it is definitely a comedy
Yeah.
because there's a great movie inspiring to me when we were children, and certainly one of the favorites of our family, even my son, my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
is The Trouble with Angels, which is a old Ida Lupino directed movie starring Rosalind Russell and primarily two naughty girls who go to live at an all girls Catholic school.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and it's just a wonderful movie based on a great book, and it was my kind of dream
Mm-hmm.
to do a movie that pays gratitude to religious sisters
Yeah.
because we were raised where I was by the Sisters of Saint Joseph. I don't diminish what my parents did for me
Mm-hmm.
at all. They were great mom and dad, but we got a lot of moral instruction from the Sisters of Saint Joseph of
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia. So it's my love letter to them is the Hail Mary.
Beautiful. I love it. Well, we're going to wrap up. So I have a couple questions, quick questions for you,
Yes,
and then we'll be done. Okay. Uh, Sam Borowski, you've collaborated with him a number of times, right? So you're very
yes.
familiar with his work, his lovely work. And which is your favorite uh, film that you did together?
Um, on one of the films we did together, I almost died.
Oh my
And
goodness.
although I really enjoyed making the
Oh,
movie, I did not enjoy, but God is good and he made sure I didn't. Uh,
mm,
so the nightclub is the movie I wish would come out.
mm,
It's heartbreaking that everybody did such really fantastic work in that, and it's not out yet. And he's got really one of the last great performances by Ernie Borgnine, who is the best of the best of the best.
mhm.
Um, so uh, yeah, I wish that one would come out. That's my favorite.
Okay. All right. And I have three comedies. I'm just going to list the comedies and you choose which you prefer and why. Okay.
Okay, hit me.
Airplane, The Jerk, and The Nutty Professor.
Um, I'm gonna toss it up. I'm gonna do something I shouldn't do. I'm gonna take two. I enjoy The Jerk. Carl Reiner directed that with Steve
Mm.
Martin. I think it's a very funny movie.
Yes, it is.
But but
Mhm.
uh, The Nutty Professor, directed by the star of the movie,
Mhm.
and and creates the star of the movie creates two distinct characters that were so fantastic that it led another. And if we're thinking of The Nutty Professor, the Jerry Lewis one,
Yes, yes, of
it
course.
it gave opportunity for another great comic actor
Hmm.
to turn that into uh, an ongoing. I mean, the first one's great. The second one's really, really good. But
Hmm.
the first one's great. Airplane, unique of all things because it reestablished or create not reestablished, it created a comedy style that
Hmm.
did not exist before they did it. There was no there was no parody comedy.
Hmm.
There were movies that were like other movies, but on that level, a parody comedy didn't really exist. There was an airplane movie and there was,
Hmm.
you know, Stewardesses, which was an exploitation version of the other movie.
Yeah.
But the parody comedy, and I just heard with great joy that they're remaking Police Story
Mm.
which was the movie series. Well, Police Squad was the TV show. Police Story or Police, whatever they're
Mhm.
remaking those movies with Liam Neeson as the lead.
Okay, the Naked Gun series, I think it is.
Yeah, that's what I think
Oh,
they're
okay.
doing. The
Oh,
Naked
okay.
Gun.
Oh, wow.
Come on.
Yeah. Well, Leslie Nielsen was really hilarious, so I'm waiting to see what happens with this.
Well, but Leslie Nielsen wasn't hilarious before that.
uh,
He was,
you're right.
you
You're
know,
right.
yeah,
That's
that's what
true.
I'm saying. Leslie Nielsen, uh, Bridges,
Mm.
the guys who are in Airplane, not, Peter Graves
Yeah,
was never hilarious,
true.
you know, and the fact that Lloyd Bridges, I looks like I picked the wrong week. Stop sniffing glue.
I
Like,
know.
well, you were seeing something. You're like, because they're all parodying other roles that they've played,
Yes.
but they're like, they thought of it. It was,
That movie's so
eh,
funny. When they made the line on the plane, they were slapping
yeah,
the lady.
slapping the lady. Oh, it's back. We had some kids over right in the middle of that movie. Inexplicably, are a set of naked bazooms,
Uh-oh.
and we were showing that movie to my friend's kids, and those bazooms came on the screen. I was like, "Oh God, I forgot that." So I had to call the mother the next day and say, "So I may have showed your 11-year-old son accidentally. Uh, I'm sorry." She was like, "Oh God, Dan, stop. Who cares?" But
Yeah.
you don't know how people are. But I mean, that movie is really quite perfect. And anything like that, or Arthur or
Hmm.
Napoleon Dynamite
Hmm.
that you could quote Airplane, and I do it all the time. I always run up to someone skinny on the set and go, "And Leo's getting larger."
Oh yeah, that movie is one of my favorites. I'm telling you, it's one of my favorites of all time, and always will be.
Yeah, it's
Well,
pretty good. Well,
yes.
thank you.
Well, Daniel, it has been such a pleasure and an honor speaking with you. And I had a lot more to ask. I wanted to talk about your toy collection because I could collect toys as well. But
Oh, well, we need to do a
another
part two
time,
then.
yeah, that'd be great. Okay,
Let's
so
figure out a time to do part two, okay?
yeah, definitely, most definitely. Thank you again for sharing space with me, with us. May everything you put your hands to continue to be blessed.
Oh, thank you. Keep us in your prayers. And folks,
I
please go to
will.
a channelofpeace.org and see if it's something you want to be part of. We could use the help.
Yes. All right.
Thank you. All righty.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Journaling with PT podcast and my wonderful, heartfelt conversation with the incomparable Mr. Daniel Roebuck. Please support A Channel of Peace. Donate if you can. Leave Journaling with PT podcast a review on Apple Podcasts. That would be great if you do that. Leave me a 5-star review and say something nice if you enjoyed the podcast entry today. You can visit ptrussell.com, and as always, please stay tuned.